Okay, this is just a typical bleed team. Kind of typical. Bleed team is a team in which they use a move that causes a bleed, like Chop and or Rip. There's only a few pets that can actually use bleeds. Perry is the only mechanical type pet with the bleed, so he's pretty nice. And Snarler, there's a whole bunch of water types that can use Rip, and Chipmunks, plus the Dark Moon Rabbit. Those are like the only 4 pets I can actually use bleeds. All the little Snarlers, there's a whole bunch of different types. I use the one that's an HP breed because he hits pretty hard. So usually with this one, oh, I should probably talk about this guy too. Infested Bear. Maul, it does like a crap ton of damage by itself and does an extra like basic hit worth of damage if the target's bleeding. So it's pretty nice. I think I use the HP breed bear because he can take a lot of hits and he hits pretty hard with that 289. It's not the hardest thing in the world, but it's still, Maul just hits really hard if they're bleeding. Same thing with Blood in the Water for Snarler. It only has a 50% chance to hit. Does 650 aquatic damage. Pretty nice. Maul, I think, hits a little bit. Yeah, Maul does hit harder if they're bleeding. But still, he does hit pretty hard because it does have a little bit more attack. Maul is the hardest hitting thing you can use with the bleed team. And Perry doesn't have anything that actually uses the bleed. Basically, with just Perry, you start off with Food Coma because he is a little speedy little thing with his 289 speed. Basically outspeeds a lot of things except other speedy pets. So Food Coma puts them to sleep for 2 rounds. They'll probably switch out if they're smart or stay in for 2 rounds, which is not the advisable thing to do. Then you throw up Stench, which reduces your entire opponent's team's hit chance by 25%. Pretty nice. You'll get like a miss or 2 out of that. Makes it totally worth it. And then hit with the Chop. If they stayed in through the 2 rounds of Food Coma, you'll chop them to wake them up, because if they get hit while asleep, then they wake up. And then you switch to either Snarler or the Infested Bear Cub. Infested Bear Cub, use Maul immediately, even if they like switch out and you don't get the bleed off. It still does a lot of damage. And then Disease Bite, or just switch into Snarler and start using Rip, then Blood in the Water, and Surge. Surge over Water Jet, just because I usually just use Surge to finish them off. Or to outspeed speedy pets like the Death Adders, who are trying to use their stupid blinding poison on me. So they get that free round off. Basically, Death Adders, the reason they're so good is because of blinding poison, and because they're really fast. 341 speed is ridiculously fast for having a 100% reduced hit chance. Alright, so this first team I'm going against, a Strand Crab, Jungle Grub, and Scorchwhelpley. Not the best team in the world. I go into Perry, because he's always a nice one to start up with, to put up my 25%. Actually, I think I go with Snarler in this one. Yeah, there he is. Snarly. I just have to watch out for that sticky goo, because if he keeps me in with his sticky goo, which makes me not be able to switch out for 2 rounds, then I could be in a bad spot, but he doesn't. He goes for the goo instead, so I know he's about to burrow, so I try to get off that extra hit with a quick surge, and I already have the bleed set up, so I'm just going to go in Blood in the Water, do a ton of damage to him, and then just finish him off with a surge. Although it doesn't quite kill him, he gets off 1 hit, and this dude's dead. Even though he outspeeds me, surge always goes first, so he's dead, unless he switches out, which I'm pretty sure he doesn't. And then he brings in his crab next. And the crab, it's not the best crab in the world. I mean, it is a really tanky one with 1800 attack. 1800 health. 1800 health is a lot. Although, and he also has surge, so he's able to pretty much outspeed me if he decides to attack. Otherwise, no, I got him. Looks like he wasn't using a surge, so I was able to get off the sleep. And then I set up Stinky's Stench, so now he reduces his chance to hit by 25%, which is a lot in pet battles. Set up my bleed, and then go into my Infested Bear Cub, so I can actually use my Maul to do some nice damage to him. He's setting up Renewing Mist. Usually, crabs will take Healing Wave because it's way better. But Healing Mist is, it's just not as good. But it does stay through pet swap, so whatever, it doesn't matter. He's also not really using a great crab anyway. My bear should be able to take out this guy, even though he is tanky and he has the heal up. I still have the bleed, and my bear does hit kind of hard, and he only has like 100 more health than I do. My bear is pretty tanky as well, even if he does have the type advantage where my Infested Bite only does 75% damage to him. Maul, though, still hits full damage and pretty hard. He's on his last pet and I still have 2 alive. Infested Bear Cub should be able to take out at least half this guy's health. Another tanky pet at 1800. Puts up darkness, so I have a 10% chance, reduced chance to hit. Infested Bite already only has a 90% chance to hit, so it might miss. He's not doing the breath. Dreadful Breath is the thing Scourge Whelpling has. If he uses it, it pretty much just can't miss, so it's really nice for killing rabbits and stuff. But usually if he had Infested Breath, he would be using that guy first to do damage to the entire team. He doesn't. I kill him, take out about half his health. My parry is stronger than him, so I'm going to set up Stench, and with Weather Darkness out, he'll be taking 10% less reduced chance to hit, so 35%, and he just gives up because he knows he can't take out parry. Alright, so it looks like I'm going against a Warbot, a Wild Crimson Hatchling, and an Alpaline Fox. So a dazzling speed team with a Warbot out. It's not really a good team. The Warbot's pretty good because of his Minefield, which does like 700 damage if you switch out. But that's fine. I go into parry, put him to sleep, and I'm going to set up the Stench. He'll probably just switch out and not have a chance to actually put up his mines anyway. Put up the Stench, 25% chance reduced to hit. And then I'm going to set up Chop, and then maybe switch out. He starts charging up, which means he's using his Deep Breath ability. Only has a 65% chance to hit, so I'm just going to stay and take it to the face before I switch out. Then I switch into my Bear Cub so I can get off of Maul. Maybe kill this guy if he doesn't do anything. He heals up a little bit, and since he knows all of his abilities to reduce damage to me, he switches out into his Fox. Maul doesn't do the double damage because he's not bleeding. And I switch out because I know that the Fox has the critter attack, which does a lot of damage to me. So I go into Snarler to see if I can get off my Blood in the Water combo. I set up Rip. Turns out he has Leap and not Dazzling Speed, which is good news for me, because if my parry is faster than his pets, then I can get off that free turn with the Food Coma. I get off Blood in the Water, kills him, because Blood in the Water hits like a freaking truck. He goes into Warbot. I go back into parry, because parry should be able to take this guy out. Food Coma, set up my Stench, so he has a 25% chance, reduced chance to hit. His Missile only has a 90% chance to hit. So with a 25% less, it's like, oh, I can't do that math in my head. 65%, yeah, that's really low chance to hit right there. Missile always misses often for me anyway, even at the 90% chance to hit. I go into my Bear Cub, try to get off that Maul to just kill this Warbot. He sets up his Missile. Usually you don't use the 2-turn missile and just shoot 2 regular missiles instead because it's about the same damage. But I guess he does have that higher chance to hit right now with that, because his Missile right now only has a 65% chance to hit. I get off a Maul and I'm just going to keep spamming Disease Bite until this guy's die. I go into my turn of immunity, which lasts the turn I die at 2, and he's already doing his failsafe. So I still got my turn of immunity plus 2 alive pets against this 1 Crimson Hatchling. I pretty much have this one. I go into my Snarler. I should be able to get off a Blood in the Water combo while still staying alive. Maybe. He does get that 50% damage boost once I drop below 50%. So it's a big gamble right here. I could die in the next hit before I get Blood in the Water off because this dude's stronger than me. And I get lucky, survive at 25 health. Blood in the Water, he's dead. I still have 2 pets alive.